What's going on, guys? Antonio here. Do me a favor and hit that thumbs up for me, and let's get into it. All right, so we're getting more information out there now that they have announced that they are going forward with the Daisy Ridley Ray Star Wars movie. But there's three Star Wars movies. One of them is being done by James Mangold. You know, James Mangold did Walk the Line with Joaquin Phoenix. He did Girl Interrupted. Angelina Jolie won an Oscar. He also did The Wolverine and Logan, and that's why I'm excited to see what he comes up with his project. The next one is, of course, the Damon Lindelof movie that Daisy Ridley is going to come back to Star Wars and be Rey again. So I know they said that one's directed by. There were three people that directed Miss Marvel on Disney Plus, the 6 episode. I guess they directed 2 episodes apiece. What's her name? Shireen something. But anyway, they're like, okay, so Damon Lindelof is gonna like write and executive produce the Daisy Ridley movie, and then this the Shireen woman, she's going to be the director because they wanted to make sure that they had a female director, just like on the new the Marvels movie and stuff. It's like, oh, we must have a woman. A woman must direct this. You know, it's like, and it's not an issue with the woman. It's just I feel like it's the same with She-Hulk. If you notice on She-Hulk, they made sure that they put out there, it's like, we've got women writing, we've got women directing, we've got women producing, and it's a female centric. And I was like, instead of just focusing on telling a good story, because when you watch Disney Plus and they did the She-Hulk behind the scenes thing, a lot of stuff that they showed was the old John Byrne She-Hulk that everybody liked. So that's why I always chuckle when they go, oh, it's a female here and a female there and all this. So Miss Marvel wasn't very good. And they had some some of the directors that directed Miss Marvel were male. They made sure everybody was of the same ethnic background. I guess Pakistani, Indian or whatever, that kind of deal. So they didn't want to, just like with Black Panther, they had to make sure that the director's black and people behind the scenes and working on the script are black and all this, So I'm like, I understand that. So they was like, Kamala Khan, she's a minority. They wanted to make sure that the people behind the scenes and, directing and stuff were all from that background so it would be authentic. So I get it. Daisy Ridley's a woman, so they make sure that they put this woman and give her the opportunity. But I'm interested because it's Damon Lindelof. I enjoyed Lost. I thought Lost was really good. He also did a show on HBO called The Leftovers that I thought was really, really strong. And so I'm curious how that's going to play out. But Daisy Ridley's been doing some press, and she was on Jimmy Kimmel, a few days ago. Jimmy Kimmel was off, and what was it? Josh Gad. Josh Gad was the guest host on there, and Jimmy Kimmel Live, and Daisy Ridley was his guest. It was just within a few days of them announcing that she was going to do the Star Wars return, and she was just talking about different things that happened as she was shooting the prequel, not the new the Disney trilogy. She was talking about some of the things, and the big thing when they started The Force Awakens is they were teasing who was going to be Rey's father. And, a lot of fans were speculating on who, some people are, oh, what if it's Luke Skywalker? Or what if it's like Obi-Wan Kenobi? Or she's this or that or whatever, And she said that when they were pitching the ideas and kicking around about who was going to be Rey's father, that they had kind of had the idea that it could possibly be Obi-Wan. And I thought about that, although by the time, remember, Force Awakens and The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker are all set after Return of the Jedi. So Obi-Wan's dead, and Rey's, Rey's in her 20s. So if it would have been Obi-Wan, it would have been interesting how they would have pulled that off. However, putting that all aside, I did kind of think about it. If you watch the Clone Wars, they had Obi-Wan had been in love with Princess Satine from Mandalore. And matter of fact, if you watch The Mandalorian, was it Katie Sackhoff? She was on Battlestar Galactica. She plays, was it Bo-Katan? Bo-Katan is Princess Satine's sister. So the character Katie Sackhoff plays is the sister of the woman that Obi-Wan was in love with. In fact, Obi-Wan had even admitted that he almost left the Jedi Order to be with her. He had fallen in love with her, and he wanted to be with her, but then at the end of the day, he decided he wanted to still be a Jedi, so he stayed. He stayed in the Order, and they went their separate ways and everything. But I like the way they played it on the Clone Wars, where they care for each other. You could tell that they still kind of had those feelings, and it's that unrequited love thing. But I was thinking about, like, what if Rey had ended up being the daughter of Obi-Wan and Princess Satine, and then the whole deal. But I also think about how it ended up playing out, where she's the daughter. They were like, is she the daughter or the granddaughter of Palpatine? Where it's they explained the whole thing about Palpatine having a clone, because obviously Palpatine died in Return of the Jedi. You seen Return of the Jedi, you know that Vader, Palpatine was killing Luke Skywalker, and Vader saw his son being harmed, and the light side came back into him. He took Palpatine, threw him down the chute, and that was the whole deal, right? But then Palpatine apparently had a clone body on standby, or multiple clone bodies on standby. And that's why he's still alive in Rise of Skywalker, which was insane. We know they do cloning, though. That's what the Clone Wars is about. So it's not insane to have. It's just that when Palpatine shows up in the Rise of Skywalker, it kind of takes away from his death in the end of Return of the Jedi. So that kind of bothered me a little. And then you find out that one of the clone bodies of Palpatine ended up falling in love with a woman, and instead of turning to the dark side, he was like, I don't want to do this. I just want to be with my woman. But he knew that the Empire was going to look for him because he's the Emperor's clone body. And then so he runs away. They have Rey, but they don't want Rey to be harmed. So they make sure that she's placed somewhere where she can be, raised away from the Emperor. But obviously the Emperor finds out about her, and same way that they hid Luke and Leia's birth from Anakin or Vader. So it's kind of that kind of deal. But I think the Palpatine reveal was kind of forced. I think if what Daisy really is saying correct, and they originally had told her that it was going to be Obi-Wan down the line, that would have been kind of interesting. But at the same point in time, because she was so young in The Force Awakens, it would have been real creepy. So I don't know how that would have played out. But I just thought that was interesting. And like I said, they got 3 Star Wars movies coming. They got the James Mangold one. They got the Damon Lindelof one, and don't know about the other, because I remember the Game of Thrones guys were going to do a Star Wars movie, and when D.B. Weiss and David Benioff, they had a Star Wars movie that they were working on, and then they pulled out. So there's a couple people, hey, you get a Star Wars movie, you get a Star Wars movie. But anyway, just my little thoughts on that. I thought that was interesting. Are you looking forward to these new Star Wars movies? Get in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. I'm out. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and please check out my podcast at anchor.fm/AkariPress, or just type in Akari Press on your favorite streaming platform today.